My sister sets an ultimatum for my baby's gender reveal, so I set my own demands.
You have now entered negotiations with a master.
My girlfriend, female 26, and I, male 29, found out in August that we were going to be parents to our first child. Generally, everyone was very happy about the news. By the way, this comes from Primary Tumbleweed 89 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I felt shocked because at the time, it wasn't planned. I called my mother for reassurance and it helped. She wasn't happy. I told her over the phone call, which I understand, and I'm a likely a-hole for. I apologize, and we put it behind us. My sister has been supportive. She helped us move to a new house, wanted to take my partner out baby shopping in a few weeks. However, my mother was less helpful. We had a FaceTime mid-August about housing options, and then my mother randomly asked me if my partner was on the pill. I said yes, and I've seen her take it, and she asked if I was sure, almost like she was insinuating that I was baby trapped.
Are you sure that wasn't a little breath mint she was taking?
I have had worries about my sister. I'm happy she's excited, but I feel sometimes she's too much. She was talking about having the baby every weekend so we could do stuff as a couple, and I said we have to consider both families. She was also concerned about us moving a bit closer to my girlfriend's family instead of mine. She said I wouldn't get as much support and questioned the support from my partners as her mother lives 2 hours away. I said she comes down every weekend to look after her mother with dementia. We'll be fine. My sister offered to pay for our gender reveal scan. We both thought this was a lovely gesture and said yes. My sister understandably wanted to come because she's paying for it. I think that's allowed. And my sister told me that the one she was booking allowed up to 5 people to come and suggested we bring my mom along. I then said if she's coming, then my girlfriend's mom should come too. She disagreed because it's the only involvement they'll have during the pregnancy, and my girlfriend's family will be at other events. We said it's not about who we're including, it's about having support during a personal appointment, and my girlfriend doesn't want only all my family there. My mom previously said either it's just my family or no scan. I said fine, we'll pay for it ourselves.
Yeah, that's an easy decision right there.
Yeah, I'm kicking you out ASAP. My sister then messaged my girlfriend to explain her reasoning, which left her in tears. She also said my family likes to do things separate and they're a bit antisocial. They think meeting my girlfriend's mom at the scan will be awkward. We think this kind of reasoning is selfish and not putting our wishes first. My mom and sister are getting me to understand their reasoning. I do understand it. I just don't agree with it. My girlfriend's mom isn't bothered by them not wanting her there, just more by how it's affected us. She told me not to worry about them and hug me. She said she's happy to pay for it and for me to invite whoever I want. This is a post here because despite many agreements about our side of things, I have doubt because my sister was going to pay for it and I was considering my dad, but my girlfriend's mom believes that that would anger my family. Am I the a-hole? So it seems like it's like a disagreement about the guest list for this scan.
Which at this point, if I'm OP, I'm like, no one's coming to the scan. You've all lost scan privileges and you will have to have the gender revealed to you at, I'm assuming they'll do some kind of
just
party.
Live stream it, you know?
Or something, make some kind of event out of it.
We got an edit and an update. So, in conclusion, not the a-hole. To elaborate on a few things, the phone call with my mom, it wasn't an initial reaction of how dare I tell her on the phone. She was happy, said congrats, based on if we were deciding to keep it at the time. It was only found out she wasn't too happy when we recorded my sister's reaction. And at this event, I told my mother that I was driving to my dad's to see him the next day. My mom doesn't think my dad does enough for me. We see each other rarely in person, maybe like once or twice a year, but we get on fine. It was his first time being a grandfather and my mother's 4th time. My sister has 3 kids already. She's desperate for a 4th of her own, but my brother-in-law keeps telling her no. My mom, when I mentioned this, suggested just FaceTiming him, but I said no. And then she said, so he gets a live surprise and I get a phone call?
Yeah, there it is.
I told her I needed initial support and sorry she found out this way. People have asked what's the situation with my dad. Him and my mom have been divorced for 24 years. He wasn't the kindest to my mother at the time, and I had a stepmother who kept driving a wedge between my dad and I, who has been out of the picture for a few years now. I've told him about this situation, and he thinks they're being ridiculous. I get people telling me I need a backbone. And yeah, it's something I've worked harder in therapy to get over. To provide a little backstory, I was an impressionable kid who was suspected of autism at a young age. My mom refused to take me to get assessed because she felt at the time that I should learn alongside the other neurotypical kids. This obviously didn't work because I constantly questioned myself, and with the aid of people like my sister reminding me of the little mistakes I made, it continued to knock my confidence back. It seems like the sister has been a problem child from the beginning.
Yeah, it seems like there has been conflict, a long history of conflict here.
It was only until a breakup, which happened when I was 23, and a downward spiral of depression, that I got more help. Doctor said I didn't have autism, but more likely anxiety.
We're going to get back to the story, but Sam, you have a copious amount of something.
What, John?
X's.
I have like 4 or 5 or 6.
I heard of 6 with a 0
All
behind
right,
it.
that 60 number, comes from somewhere else.
Where does that come from?
It comes from our OK Storytime membership.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Join a club almost as exclusive as Sam's X is. Well, let's get back to the story.
Mom and sister insist I do because they think I'll get more support, but linking it with stuff in the post, it feels like grooming. And I push back on several occasions just to let me be. I get comments about how something I did was autistic thing, which I said stop to. My sister has 2 kids diagnosed with autism and 1 kid with ADHD, and she works for an autism charity. I went on Prozac after being diagnosed with anxiety and depression. I was also with an ex at the different time and saw subtle controlling methods through that, and we didn't work out afterwards. That was something my family helped me through, but I'm getting that narcissistic people can often not get along with other narcissistic people because they'll try and expose the other person to make themselves look better. So my growing up was conflicted because on one hand, there was nitpicking and on the other, care that seemed genuine. My mom has also suffered abusive relationships and grieved the death of a partner, so I pinned weird behavior on that. There's a comment somewhere in here which explains a list of stuff my sister did a few years ago, which stopped her going to my mom and dad's wedding. And now I'm with a beautiful human being to start a family with, and while it's a shame my family couldn't be cooperative and understanding, she and our baby come first, and we need each other first and foremost. No one is dictating to us about who cares for them or anything else. I called my mom out for what she said about the baby trap. She apologized to me, but not to my partner who overheard conversation. Ever since then, she's been distant. Writing this now, I'm wondering to myself why I'm even letting her come to the scan if my partner's mom comes after her behavior. My mom backpedals a lot, says something that would annoy or upset someone, and then says it was a joke. Sounds like she just has a bad filter and then in post is like, oh, take that from the record.
Yeah, can we actually roll that back?
Yeah, roll that back.
That was a funny. Judging from everyone's reaction, I didn't mean anything that I said.
I've since told her there was backpedaling, but she denied it. My mom's weird views on separating from my partner's family stems from her own anxiety, I believe. We believe she's on the spectrum. She's in denial about it. We've seen moments of her having some sensory overload moments, being obsessed with specific topics, mostly conspiracy theories, lack of filter at times, and struggle to see things from others' point of view. My sister, I believe, wants to be seen as the best guardian, very possibly parents, and sees her family as a threat. And there is an update. Hi all, quick update, but a fair bit has happened in the last 24 hours, and it is not good. First of all, thank you to everyone for your advice. I took it on board, especially the stuff about setting our boundaries now and not taking any more manipulation. There were some people questioning the need for a reveal scan. We just thought it would be nice for our first child. I understand that's not for everyone's liking, but that's what we want to do. Anyway, my sister called me on Sunday. I explained that my girlfriend should be allowed to have whomever she wants there. That is called great support.
Yes.
She reiterated the awkwardness of it at the scan, so I suggested a coffee meetup, which she said she'd chat to my mom about. My mom turned it down and said it was too formal. Nothing is good enough for you.
Yeah, straight up. It's like, stop. I don't care what your critiques are at this point. You are just going to
come and support
and accept the conditions. That's it.
In her words, I'm sure I'll meet them someday. She suggested we have 2 separate scans for each of the family. I turned this down because I thought that was gross. My girlfriend is not a test subject for other people's enjoyment. Then I said, we'll book our own and invite who we want or just have it be us. She then turned passive aggressive and said, fine, you do what you want. I've been nothing but supportive and my girlfriend is going to want her family there for everything. I said, this isn't true. She said she wants both families involved. Knowing that they continue to try and make offers for the scan, I sent them a long message to both of them in a group chat. I've added the screenshots on the Insane Siblings subreddit, which you can see on my profile. And as you can see in the reply from my sister, she attempted to gaslight me into feeling bad. After she said we part ways, I blocked her on everything. I'm not having that kind of influence in my life, and certainly not subjecting my girlfriend to it, especially if they're not going to respect our boundaries. My mom called me a short time after and told me the message was condescending, cold, and formal. Oh, now this message is formal. And didn't understand why I was overreacting about the scan. Told me not to interrupt, even a message I sent her, which was among the same lines as the one in the screenshot. I told her it's not about the scan, about the over-involvement in general. Clearly, my sister left details out because she didn't know about my sister wanting to look after the baby every weekend and being insecure about the support from my girlfriend's family. She said we should all meet up to chat. I'm not having them bully me, though. If I'm there to chat, I'm having someone in my corner. She said she didn't want us arguing, but I said the ball is in my sister's court. My mom is attempting to play peacemaker and has sided with my sister's erratic behavior, so neither of them I feel like I can really trust. As for the scan, my girlfriend and I booked our own scan, and we're having a reveal party next weekend where everyone is welcome.
Yes, exactly.
Honestly, that's probably the best. Although right now, I'm not inviting my mom and sister. I've explained the situation to my dad, and he's disgusted at them. My sister and I have different dads. Edit, sorry, I forgot to add, you're right that I should not have apologized to my mom for how I broke the news to her. She often comments on how my dad doesn't come down to see me, and it's mostly me going up there. My dad and I do talk, and when I go up there, he often wants to pay for everything, no questions asked. I don't take this for granted, of course. I get rounds of beef in to or chip in for takeaway. Either way, I'm happy with the relationship my dad and I have. We've had issues in the past, but we move forward. Also re-uploaded a screenshotted text message reply from my sister to my profile since it keeps getting taken down on the sub for spam. Although Reddit kept blanking the images, so I've added an imager link to them. And update 2, since my last update, both my sister and mom have contacted me via text. I borrowed $50 from my sister to help fix my car. My girlfriend and I spent a lot of time moving and my tire blew. Good timing. I said I'd pay her back on payday, which was Thursday. Her text asked me for the money back and also said, I sent the money and I have kids to feed, basically trying to make me out to be a thief. I suspected it was to try to get a reaction out of me, but I silently paid her back the money. Left at that. I want my distance from her, but I'm not a thief. Then she texted my girlfriend, even though in my long message I added on Imager to both of them, specifically told them not to message her in regards to the stuff. The message said she hopes the scan went well. She thinks it was this weekend for some reason, even though she was originally going to book it for the 15th, and we have it booked for the 15th. She also told her not to be upset about any of this and wants us both to be happy. I suspect she's fishing for information, and it's clear she cares more about the baby than her own relationship. My girlfriend hasn't responded. My nan texted me earlier in the week because of the issues with Reddit uploading my images. I'll post the contents of the chat here. Here is the quote. I hardly ever involve myself, but I love you all and I want to put it right. Before sister knew all the people in school, I went to every meeting with her. She feels socially shy meeting new people, so like mom, I was her comfort blanket. I've now stepped back. Please mend this rift. I think she realizes that you need space. She's breaking her heart. Hold out your hand. Her intentions are good. You made your point, but she adores you and thinks a lot of my girlfriend. My love to you both always. Please mend this rift. So grandma is now like...
Grandma's getting involved.
Grandma's getting involved.
Grandma's being like, you're tearing me apart.
Is this dementia grandma too?
No, I think this is just tactical.
Well, no. But like,
does she have? Wait, is she?
Because I remember there was someone who was taking care of a dementia.
I think this.
No, that was on the sister's side. That was on the sister's side.
Yeah.
That was on the
exactly
the girlfriend's side.
Yes, the girlfriend's side. You know, and this is why sometimes as you get older, you get wiser.
Yeah.
And grandma said, I know exactly how to tactically.
And
put
it
an end to this.
Like what grandma is saying, oh, the sister's just super shy and that's why she didn't want anyone over. And like, this is something that's been happening throughout her whole life. And like, I was her security blanket back in the day.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm giving you the sneak peek into what you might not understand.
Yeah.
Because, we all have vulnerabilities and insecurities and like things, we all have our own, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, just because the sister's anxious doesn't mean that she like is allowed to have this kind of control.
No. And you don't just
more
because
of
someone has
an issue of
insecurities and
understanding.
problems, doesn't mean you have to invite their insecurities and problems into your life. I left it a day but I replied back that it's not my rift to mend. I don't want any breakups in the family, but I want my space. They've hurt me and controlled me too many times, and I'm not putting up with it anymore. My nan replied saying she understands and won't take sides. My mom messaged me yesterday morning saying she hopes I'm okay, and also thinking the scan was this weekend, saying she's away, so wouldn't be able to make it. She wanted to come, but is now away, lol. She wanted to catch up in a week and talk. Nothing more than that. But it doesn't look like either of them have any remorse for the way they've behaved. And if you want to behave like the good little girl and little boy that you are, you should listen to our podcast where we release these stories every single day. And you can listen to them while, I don't know, doing laundry, freaking working, driving. It could just be in your ear holes 24/7.
Any podcast platform, just search OK Storytime and you will find
Enchilada.
the whole kit and caboodle.
But we got a little bit more to this story, a little update. So the gender reveal. I would have been happy with either gender, but today was beautiful with so many supportive people. Haven't spoken with either my mom or my sister since falling out and not told them any details, but we're happy to have so many supportive people around, including my dad and my younger siblings who traveled down for today.
Was that in the story?
Why is that there?
I didn't put that there.
Why is there one of the blue guys from the Eiffel?
What
That's Eiffel 49 or whatever.
How is that there?
I'm blue. That is one of those guys.
That is where that story ends.
Well, I guess
I'm so happy that's
maybe
there.
he was sad
Oh my goodness.
because he's blue.
Is that I want to say like someone put that in this story.